All right, so we are out here at the range with our CZ Scorpion 3 Plus Micro in 9mm with a few of the upgrades that I talked about. The first one is pretty obvious that you can see here. We have the SB Tactical pistol brace on the back that is side folding, yet because this platform is designed the way it is, it means that you can still shoot the platform even with the stock folded off to the side. The other less noticeable, but well, at least to you, but noticeable to me, is that I actually got from HB Industries the extended charging handle. That is to make it a little bit easier for me to be able to put that in the MP5 locked back position. That's mostly because I put this rail here, and when you are running the stock charging handle, it's really easy to rake your finger right over that rail, or it makes it more difficult to gain access to it once you have an accessory on there. Now, that brings me to one of my gripes that I've discovered about this platform when you are hosting a suppressor on it, and that is this. You'll notice that you can see my suppressor comes up to here in this second M-lock slot. What that means is that I can only put something in the backmost M-lock slot because the suppressor gets in the way of anything that I try and put hardware-wise when I'm putting the M-lock rails on. That suppressor then starts to get in the way. So I kind of wish the barrel maybe was like an inch longer, or that they just didn't put that second M-lock piece on there. And the reason why I'm not a huge fan of that is due to the fact that, you see, guns unloaded. So it doesn't matter which way I aim it. But, you know, if I were to put something like a Surefire Scout light on here, well, even in the frontmost rail, means that my hand still has to be back here in order to activate that light. Now, yes, I could use a pressure switch, but I already don't have a lot of real estate. So now I got to find somewhere else to put a pressure switch as well as the light, which is taking up, like, there's going to be a lot going on where there's not a lot of real estate. So I'd rather just run a light with a button that I can push. Now maybe an Enforce might be a little bit better since the rail system is kind of on the back side of that flashlight and the pressure pad is right there at the end. But still, that means I have to put my hand all the way back here, almost to where like the magazine is. And I tend to prefer to want to try and get as far up and forward of most foregrips when I shoot a configuration like this. Okay, so that's just another little gripe that I've got, but let's see how it shoots with the pistol brace installed. Still running flawless. That was obviously about 25 rounds, I believe, of arms core, 124 grains. So those were supersonics, and I'm using the P mags from Magpul, and a Sylvan Arms Apache 9 suppressor on the end. Which, shooting supersonics through the Apache 9, the steel is louder than the gunshot. Okay, but now, for those that are curious about why I like this package so much, it's due to the fact that it is very compact, concealable, lightweight, and discreet. So for example, with it folded up and having the suppressor on the end, it'll fit nicely into this level 2 assault pack from Voodoo Tactical. Now note, Voodoo Tactical actually makes this pack in discreet models, meaning that there's no MOLLE attachments or anything on the outside that makes it look like it's a tactical backpack, but rather like it's a regular backpack. It also has a slot in the back for a hydration bladder and for soft armor plates. In this particular pack, I've got the gun loaded up. I have another 20-round magazine in the top pouch. And in this lower pouch, I actually have another 4 35-round P-Mags from Magpul for the Scorpion. So that is all in this backpack right here that I can carry with me, and know that I've got a fantastic option when it comes to defending myself, my loved ones, and my community in the event that that necessity arises. But, you know, I do have another brand of ammunition here with me, and this is ammo that I won at a match. I won a certificate for, and I wanted to give them a try. So this is from Excalibur Ammunition. This is the 147 grain minor competition gold. Now, what that means for those that don't quite understand what the difference is between major and minor is this. For USPSA types competitions and shooting, we have to meet what's called a power factor, meaning you take the weight of the bullet, times it by the velocity, and then you subtract, or not subtract, you divide it by 1,000, right, to move the decimal place over 3 points. And you basically need to hit a certain number in order to ensure that you are not shooting a load that is too light to gain you a competitive advantage, if that makes sense. So what this means by being a 147 grain minor load means that it's gonna be over the minor power factor requirement for competition settings. But my curiosity was to see how it fared out of a suppressor, being that it's a 147 and minor load. Doesn't necessarily mean it's subsonic, but it does mean that it's not necessarily as hot as a 9mm load can be. So let's throw some in a mag and see how it sounds, runs, and feels. Now, for comparison purposes of the Excalibur 147 competition gold minor load versus the Armscore 147 subsonic loads. Now, if you don't hear ringing of steel, it's because I'm not aiming at the steel. But I have the first 5 rounds of the Armscore subsonics so we can get a good baseline, followed by 5 rounds of the Excalibur 147. So that's the Armscore subsonics. Now we're into the Excaliburs. And what I will say is, as far as from where I'm standing, those sounded actually very, very similar. I'm gonna have to do some research, and I'll put it in the description below to see if I can gain any information about what kind of velocity the 147 competition golds from Excalibur meet. But I'll say it ran, it functioned. The bullet impacts were in the same spot as the 147 subsonics, so no difference as far as, or no major mass difference as far as velocity and impact and all that kind of stuff goes. But I gotta say, so far, compared to the PSA ARV, this package is starting to look, feel, sound, and function like it's worth the money. So we will have to do another update once I get maybe another 400 or 500 rounds downrange with this thing, because at that point we will be past where I started having issues with the ARV from PSA, and then I'll give another review as far as how this thing does. Let's call it at 1,000 rounds. Once I get 1,000 rounds through this thing, we'll do another review, and then probably even a longer review at like the 5,000 mark or something like that. But there you go, the CZ Scorpion 3+ Micro with an SB Tactical folding pistol brace using Magpul 35 round P-Mags and a Sylvan Arms Apache 9 suppressor. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you found this one enjoyable, informative, and entertaining. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell button so you can be notified of once I do another update on this bad boy, as well as any other videos that might be coming out, such as the FPS outdoor stuff, now that we're into hunting season. So thank you guys so much, and I will catch you on the next one.